that is our Guru's promise to us, that he'll come back and incarnate again and again as long as one stray brother is left behind. And I think he came for us. We could turn on the lights, maybe. I think he came for us. And when I think of how having Yogananda as my guru has changed my life, I think of how many millions of people in the world whose lives he has changed. And I didn't even know I was longing for a guru. And he comes to free us. You know, we're all compelled to incarnate because we still have some lessons to learn, some karma to go through. And so in a sense, by being compelled to be born, you could almost say we're in a sort of a prison of sorts. And when the great ones come, they come behind our prison bars. You know, Yogananda said when he incarnates, it's like putting on a heavy overcoat on a really hot day. That's how it is to get used to being in a body again. And then he says, he gets used to it after a while. But here he comes behind these prison bars with us, and he just shows us how we can be free. Here, if you do this, if you follow what I say here, if you read my words, if you go deep into my vibration, if you meditate and commune with the divine as peace, as Om, as love, as light, all of these different ways. He's given us thousands of ways, tricks to get beyond the prison bars and to become free. And he even said at one point, if you just do 1% of what I tell you, you can become free. It's like he's given us a little window to the infinite and just said, here, come in this way. If you come this way, you can be free and follow me. And so as disciples, as his chelas, it's really our highest dharma to allow him to do his job and transform our consciousness. That's why he came, that's why he took this trouble to come, because we called him from our hearts, individually and collectively and globally. You know, this planet needed an avatar such as him, and he incarnated for us. And I think we can do him the greatest service and offer him all our love and all our thoughts, all our faults, all our desires, everything at his feet, and let him, as he said to Dr. Lewis, he said, Dr. Lewis, do you give me your unconditional love? And I'd say, along with Dr. Lewis, we can all say yes. And he says, oh, good, then I can come in and take charge of your life. So I believe that's what each of us is really hoping, that he'll take charge of our life and transform us. It was 100 years ago this year that Yogananda began his worldwide mission. He went to the West and said that the Himalayan masters that guide the evolution of the planet had ordained that a great yoga master be sent to the West and teach the original teachings of Krishna and the original teachings of Christ, and that his duty in this incarnation was to help people understand those and to bring East and West together in this way. And so all throughout this year, we'll be celebrating that his worldwide mission that has transformed the lives of so many. And we had a wonderful small meeting yesterday of some of our core Seva team members here, team leaders here. And it was so inspiring to hear all the different ways that people want to give their energy, give their time, give their resources to help expand the message that Yogananda incarnated to share in the world. So we hope all of you join us in those different ways that we can do that. And so one of the things, of course, that Yogananda taught us was technique, to how to still our minds and open our hearts and receive the presence of the divine, and also devotion, that we must, long for God, yearn for God. And one of the ways he introduced or that he brought so strongly to all of us is his chanting and his songs.
Sooner or later, everyone on the spiritual path needs to develop the attitude of discipleship. And for some people, that will be discipleship to a guru. For others, and really for all of us, it will be the attitude of discipleship toward life, of being receptive to the lessons that life has to teach each one of us. Yogananda Ji said, attitude is everything. And what kind of attitudes? Am I dedicated to serving the light, serving the higher cause? Do I want to go deeper on the spiritual path? Can I ask with humility? And have I emptied my cup of ego, self-definition, so that there's room for the divine to enter, for the divine to flow in, divine grace? Sri Krishna tells us, by surrender of self-will to the wise, by sensitive inward and outward questioning of the wise, and by service to the wise, those who have realized the truth will be able to convey their wisdom to you. Having fully received that wisdom from a true guru, Arjuna, you will never again fall into delusion. For you will behold all creation contained within your expanded self, and then behold it in me beyond all creation. Even the worst of sinners can, using the raft of wisdom, safely cross the ocean of delusion. We see from this that God never imposes his will. We need to ask for his help. And how to ask? As Sri Krishna says, by surrender. Surrender of self-will. Surrender of ego. By sensitive inward and outward questioning. By prayer. By communing with the divine. By serving God, offering our time, money, skills. Yogananda Ji said, if you want to be in tune with me, serve my work. In all these ways, we purify ourselves. We open ourselves so that grace can flow to us. And discipleship means opening ourselves to the infinite consciousness of God, or to the Guru, or to our higher self. We ask to be guided in thought, word, and deed. And it's up to us to keep this relationship alive, to nurture it. Another aspect is Sangha, spiritual friendship. Together we can support one another in our goal of self-realization. Swami Kriyananda said, those who take a technique and practice all on their own without ongoing relationship with fellow devotees don't get nearly as much out of it as those who have regular satsang. You must stay as much as possible in this spiritual vibration. For this, you need outward as well as inward contact. And finally, seva, serving and giving back to our source of inspiration. Swamiji said that he noticed over the years, very distinctly among members of Ananda, that those who served grew much more, even than those who were better meditators or meditated much longer. It's through our free offering of our time, money, energy, and devotion to God that we'll find our spiritual growth. Guruji said, those who join on this path of self-realization are not connected to some printing press, but to a line of God-realized masters. God Himself, through them, overshadows this work. All who follow it sincerely, with devotion, will be brought to Him. And these are the attitudes that help us, not judging others, receptivity, listening, remaining in our calm inner center, accepting that everything God gives us is for our growth, and above all, being inwardly receptive, being a disciple to life, praying very specifically, and then listening and feeling for the response.